Hey YouTube, this is the first installment of Theme Deck Thursday, and for Theme Deck Thursday, you might be able to tell we are going into a Pokemon deck from Phantom Forces. We are actually going to take a look at the Bolt Twister deck. Yes, I already opened it and got all the goodies from inside. Alright, for those of you who don't know, it's a 60 card pre-con deck. They come with a list on the back, so of course you can take a peek, and we got the list right there if you want to read that, but we are going to go over everything. We're going to take a look at everything inside, just for those of you who don't know, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this deck for a week, and I have to play it exactly as it is. I can make no changes. And then at the end of that week, I'll make a handful of changes, roughly 5, and we'll see how our performance goes, and you'll get to know all the little goodies from that, and maybe occasionally as we progress with Theme Deck Thursdays, we might even be able to do something really cool, like film some of the matches with some of the live matches with real people. Maybe even get some online stuff, but don't know about that just yet. Anyway, one of the things you're going to get is you're going to get this little deck box. It's only paper, but it's still got some cool art, and you got it with Phantom Forces and them on one side, and then you just got Galvantula all by himself right here. That's kind of cool. You also get a code card for the TCG Online, which unlocks the deck for you online. Can't show it to you yet because I haven't actually gone online to redeem the code just yet. But that's cool, so you can play it online. If you don't play online, you should try it. It's completely free, and they give you free booster packs, and you can play anybody, any time of day, regardless. Pretty fun. You also get a sheet with damage counters you can pop out. You get a coin. This is a Mega Gengar coin. You get a purple one in this box, and that's kind of cool. You get this big playmat, which is already completely unfolded, and it's actually two-sided, but you can also fold it in the middle and just have the one side, either the Talonflame or the Galvantula in this case. And on the other side of this big monster here, we've also got this giant thing of rules and little reminders, like which ways to turn for sleeping, confusion, and paralysis, which I frequently confuse paralysis and sleep, which way you turn for that. I can never remember that. So that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty handy if you're new to the game, especially. That's very useful. We're going to focus on this half with Galvantula here because, number one, we see plenty of Talonflame on the VG, and besides, this is the Galvantula deck, so we're going to do that. One more thing you do get is you get this cool thing that tells you new stuff about Phantom Forces, and it even has a complete spoiler set and checklist for the entire Phantom Forces set, so that's cool. That's cool. But, of course, the meat of the thing is the deck. It's got 30 Pokemon in it. Your lead Pokemon is, of course, Galvantula. We got 2 of him. He's got this cool... And we got to build around him, so we're going to take a good look at him. 80 HP, not ideal. His 1 energy retreat, I was really hoping for a free retreat on him. He doesn't quite have it, but 1 retreat's not bad. His Cobweb Trip, for 1 energy, lets you look at pull up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and not only do you get to pick one of their bench Pokemon and bring it in, but you also confuse it automatically. So that can be good for people who don't necessarily have access to like Keldeo, Floatstone kind of antics. That could be cool. And his Electro Web is 60 damage, and they can't retreat. So maybe not as exciting. I think Cobweb Trip is kind of the way to go. The theme of this deck seems to be disruption, so that's what we're going to kind of play around. To get to him, we also run 4 copies of Joltik, who's got the Night March attack and then kind of Gnaw. His 30 HP is a little disturbing, but... because that means if we get him as our only Pokemon, we might easily get taken out. So that's kind of that's making me a little edgy here. But we're gonna have to play off of it. We also have 1 Heliolisk, 90 HP. He can hit for 30 for 1, and for 2, he can pitch any number of lightnings you want from any of your Pokemon and deals 30 damage for each. So this guy feels like maybe a game ender or a way to clean out a big EX in 1 turn. Maybe we don't run as much lightning as water energy in this deck, unfortunately. But, we'll see what we can do. We also have 2 copies of the Helioptile with Tail Wrap, which can do like 10, 30, or 50 damage. And he's got 60 HP, so he's not too bad, I guess, overall. We also have 1 copy of Feraligatr, and this makes me think Disruption in combination with the Galvantula. He's got 150 HP, which is pretty bulky. That's nice. He's got an energy removing attack here, Hyper Whirlpool. He's one of the more energy exorbitant Pokemon in the deck. But that's okay, because this one you actually flip until you get tails, and for each head, so you pitch an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, so that's cool. And his second attack here is really heavy hitting. It's the heaviest hitting attack in the entire deck, barring a very well-powered attack from Heliolisk, where it's 80 damage for 4 energy, but if they've already got any kind of damage on them, it actually hits for another 80, so it hits for 160. and if they've already got damage on him, that's almost surely a KO. So that guy's pretty cool. Definitely want to think about theming around him when we get to make some changes. We also run 2 Croconaw for him, and more energy removal on Croconaw in the form of Crunch, so that's kind of cool. 80 HP, that's okay, I guess. That's okay. And we have 3 Totodiles with Fury Strikes. It's not a bad attack and 60 HP, so he's pretty cool. Just a means to getting to those evolutions. Other water Pokemon, we got 2 Kinglers. He's very energy heavy and he's got a high retreat. Not the greatest. But his 1 energy attack, at least he gets 1 energy attack, can also help reduce damage that's dealt to him, which makes his 100 HP look maybe a little bit tougher. Hopefully that 100 damage Crabhammer, we don't have to power up to that because that's a lot of energy, but if we do, at least it deals a fair amount of damage. We also have these 2 Krabbies that go to it, of course. He can hit for 50 at least, but it takes a lot of energy. We got 1 Jellicent in here that can mess with your opponent's Pokemon by moving energy from your opponent's discard pile to one of their Pokemon. So that would seem like you're helping your opponent, but that could actually disrupt some opponents who want to power up from the yard, so that might actually be a cool trick. And it's meant to, of course, combo with his Ensnaring Prey that deals 10 extra damage for each energy on their active Pokemon. So basically you power somebody up on their side and then you hit them for heavy damage with Ensnaring Prey. Interesting. It's 3 energy retreat's a little painful, but it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what we can get with it. Maybe you can put in some work. We also have these 2 Frillish to get to our Jellicent. Confuse Ray is not bad. It deals no damage, but it confuses people. So more forcing your opponent to switch out and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. And we have these 2 Finneon. We have no Lumineon in the deck at all, and all he does is pound, deal 10 damage. So not exactly a dynamic beat stick or anything, but it's just kind of rounding out our deck, kind of filling it in. I guess that gives us an out to Lumineon if we want to try that later on. Colorless Pokemon, we got 2 Fearow. And this guy's Fly kind of fits in the possible disruption theme because if you get Tails, the attack does nothing, but if Heads, they just can't touch him at all in any way with their attacks next turn, so that's cool. And his flexibility energy-wise is nice, and Drill Peck, I guess, could finish somebody off, I guess. He comes from this Spearow, who at least has Whirlwind that can mess around with your opponent's Pokemon again by switching him out, so that's nice. And of course, the fighting resistance on Spearow and Fearow is cool for Dawn fans, so that's always appreciated. And last in our Pokemon, we got 2 Bunnelby, and there are no Diggersbys in here. But he's just somebody who can attack for any kind of energy, I guess. He can deal 10 or 30 if we want to put 3 whole energies onto him, which I kind of doubt we'll do. But, I guess we got options. We run 5 supporters. We got 1 Professor Sycamore, because digging for 7 cards is always awesome. We got 1 Shauna. 5 cards, it shuffles your hand back in, but, I guess we don't have to discard stuff we might want for later, especially since we got a lot of 1-ofs and stuff, so that's pretty welcome. It's a nice card. Tierno just draws you 3 cards. Drawing is nice. Pokemon Fan Club, this can be really useful. We got a lot of evolutions that are kind of sparse in number, so this makes sure we get the smaller forms to evolve up to them quickly. So that's not a bad card to have. And Pokemon Center Lady, this might buy us another turn by healing somebody up enough, so that can be nice, gets us out of status. That's okay. It's okay. We got 7 non-supporter items, I guess, or trainers, I suppose you'd say. We got 1 Roller Skates. Hey,